Focus time again, protecting the country and these fucking little bastards, raping our young daughters, raping our kids. Enough is enough. I have had enough.
So this is the attacker. After he's being arrested, after he stabs a few people in the street, he says, "I told you time and time again." As apparently they have asked him multiple times why he did this and what he's doing. "I told you time and time again, I'm protecting the country from these effing Muslim bastards, raping our young daughters, raping our kids. Enough is enough. I have had enough." Let's watch it again.
Focus time again, protecting the country and these fucking little bastards, raping our young daughters, raping our kids. Enough is enough. I have had enough.
This is the clip that we have. This is going around and people start sharing it and saying, look what he's saying. This is very much in line with what Tommy Robinson and Rupert Lowe and others have been saying. This is what the critics of Islam are saying. So therefore he must have been inspired by them, and therefore they must be responsible for this. Therefore they must all be held accountable for this. Tommy Robinson must be held accountable for this. He's probably guilty for this. He caused this.
Yeah, you already pointed out the hypocrisy. When it's a Muslim terrorist screaming Allahu Akbar, oh, you see, this is the same thing so many other Muslims shout. They shout Allahu Akbar, just like this guy. So they're the exact same. And they're all responsible. Same reasoning.
Yeah. Tommy said, so someone has apparently attacked a group of Muslims in Edinburgh and was heard shouting he's protecting girls from Muslim rape gangs. Police are already calling it a terror attack, not a lone wolf with mental health problems. This was all inevitable. Politicians and legacy media have ignored the concerns of the British public long enough, slandering everyone instead of facing the issue. Now, he points out what David just explained earlier, and what has been on my mind the whole time since I first saw it, which is we have just seen the reports, right? We have just seen a huge, giant inquiry report of an estimated 250,000 victims in the UK of grooming gangs, of Muslim-run grooming gangs. And we have repeatedly seen, all with clear evidence, with irrefutable proof, we have seen all of it, that there is a consistent pattern where the authorities in the UK refuse to handle the situation out of a concern that their actions might be perceived as Islamophobic or as racist or as bigoted. There was the big Rotherham scandal where the grooming gangs were allowed to operate for decades, allowed to abuse British children, British girls for decades, because the authorities that were on the case were afraid of being called bigoted. They were afraid of being called anti-Muslim. They were afraid of being called Islamophobic. You have again and again a pattern of the majority of grooming gang perpetrators being Muslims of Pakistani or other Muslim country origin. And people in charge refuse to call this out and refuse to do something about it because they are afraid of being called Islamophobic, of racist, of being called racist or bigoted. People who talk about this, like Tommy Robinson and others, are depicted as racists, as Islamophobic, as bigoted, and are dealt with much harsher measures than the rapists and the raping gangs and the grooming gangs and their perpetrators themselves are. There is a cry for help by people in Britain to do something and to protect the children, to protect the women. Nothing is being done. No promises are made. No groups are deported. The punishments given to rapists and to grooming gang perpetrators are ridiculous. They are laughable. A guy who rapes children and women 8 times or more and gets a prison sentence that is, 16 years or something, and then is allowed to walk out again with a possibility of early release. The people of the UK, the women and the children, are being treated like dirt. while the Muslim population is being treated like babies. The rapists themselves are treated with so much care. You don't want to offend anybody. You don't want to offend the rapists. This is a consistent pattern. The government doesn't do anything about it. They don't change. They let this happen. They let this go on forever and over and ever and ever, leaving people not much of a chance, pushing them to the edges of their control, and creating circumstances like this, where some guy goes out and starts attacking Muslims with his attempt that he declares that he has had enough of this, and he wants to put an end to Muslims raping the young daughters of his country. None of this would happen if the British authorities actually were protecting their own people. None of this would happen. None of this would happen had the situation not gone into the ridiculous direction that it has gone. Supposedly now, the government starts listening to people and starts taking care of mass migration and starts pondering on deportation. Will they actually do anything? No, they won't, because they don't really care. They just want to give the appearance that they care. You have parties like Reform very disappointingly deal with the situation. You have another party that is Restore Britain come and directly promise that they will put an end to this and they will deport millions. No, I personally don't think that they can actually achieve any of that, but they make these promises, and they are depicted by the media and the Labour government and others as racist, bigoted, Islamophobic, and all that. Leaving ordinary people no way out of this but to go out and take vigilant action. I don't think that you should take this kind of vigilant action. I do not think it is right in any way to go out and attack random Muslim civilians. Despite all my opposition and my hate for Islam, despite my opinion that so many people need to be deported, I do not think that it is in any way a good solution to go out and stab and attack and punish random Muslim civilians. But the authorities, the media, the government, they push people to do this kind of stuff. They want to blame Tommy Robinson and Rupert Lowe and others now. They want to blame the critics of Islam now. I think the real ones who caused all of this are the media in the UK, the Labour Party, the police, the authorities. I think they are the ones who caused this. I think they are the ones responsible for stuff like this happening. They are the ones who should be held accountable for this. They are the ones who even caused the killing of innocent Muslim civilians or the attacks on innocent Muslim civilians who have nothing to do with this in the streets of the UK. I think they are the ones who are responsible for both the fostering of rape gangs and the attacks on other Muslim bystanders.
Yep, that's who's responsible.
David, I saw you respond to some of these concerns.
I responded multiple times.
Here is David saying, Muslim terrorist screams Allahu Akbar while slaughtering unbelievers. Muslims, don't blame Islam, don't blame the ideology, don't blame anyone but that particular man. Scottish man stabs 5 Muslims. Blame everyone who has ever criticized Islam and anyone who reported the grooming and rape of tens of thousands of young British girls. David, why did you make such a weird post?
That's what happens every time. I mean, I just checked the Religion of Peace, who keeps the running tally of Muslim terrorist attacks since 9/11. It's at 49,500. So it's about to hit 50,000 this year. About to hit 50,000 Muslim terrorist attacks since 9/11. After you don't hear about most of them. Vast majority, you don't hear about 99% of them, guys. They're just endless. But the ones we do hear about, we're always told that you're wicked and immoral if you blame the ideology that the people are citing when they're carrying out these attacks. Don't blame their religion. Don't blame their prophet who said that he'd been made victorious with terror. Don't blame any of that, and don't associate any of this with any other Muslim in the world. That's what we hear every single time. And whenever you have these rare instances, and I say rare, of like a Anders Breivik or the Christchurch massacre, or this guy stabbing some people, whenever you have that, it's, you see, everyone who's ever criticized Islam is responsible. This is Tommy Robinson's fault. This is Elon Musk's fault. This is Rupert Lowe's fault. This is AP's fault. This is D. Wood's fault. Even the attacks that are fake, like the one on Sheikh Uthman, we got blamed for that instantly.
It's our fault that somebody put ketchup on him.
Mm-hmm. I'm so mad at these guys for criticizing Islam that it's their fault that I squirted fake blood all over my dress.